Am I doing Reiki wrong? Hello, my name is Selenia Rodriguez. I am a Holy Fire Karuna Reiki Master, and through this series, I will be addressing an after class gap. So, these are the things that a lot of level 1 and probably level 2 students might face after they leave their Reiki certification course, coming up against things like doubt with their Reiki practice, trying to work through confidence. Is this working? I don't feel anything. Things of that nature. For this video, we're addressing the topic, am I doing Reiki wrong? I personally don't think that there's any wrong way to do Reiki. Um, I do believe that there is certain steps that we should take to ensure the integrity of our own energy and um, the other person's if you're working on somebody. But if not, then still the energy with ourselves. I think there's steps that we should take to make sure that we are protecting our energy and clearing our energy as well. But other than that, I don't think there's necessarily any right way to do Reiki. Now, with that being said, I will not act like I am an expert in every single lineage of Reiki because there is a lot. Think there's about 30 different lineages of Reiki with many like sub lineages as well. But I know that at least some of the Japanese lineages, which is where my lineage stems from, um, I have not really found any like right or wrong way to do Reiki. Now, when we take a Reiki class, we are obviously shown different ways that we can do this. We're given different options. So, at least for my lineage, we are shown how to do a scan, like a biosin scan, to check if we kind of just want to like check like checking our energy and kind of just going through it like intuitively. And then we're also taught the like standard hand positions that Takata, Hawayo Takata, I'm probably botching that name, the hand positions that she designed. Um, I think that the hand positions are great, at least in this lineage, because really what they do is every hand position that you go through is going to ensure that you're really hitting everything. You're hitting every energy center, you're hitting every major organ, you're hitting every major, meridian, those energy lines. So just doing all the standard hand positions are great, but it's not necessary. And you don't even necessarily need to do the scan either. You can just tune into all of this intuitively. I will say that when we're in the beginning of our Reiki journey, I highly encourage to do it the way that you have learned. And then once you feel good with that, then you can start kind of branching off and experimenting. But it's not like this is a mandatory, like you have to kind of thing. I believe that our intuition is just going to guide us sometimes. The Reiki energy is going to guide us, and if we have any other, spiritual guides, angels, ancestors, anything like that, that we invite into our Reiki practice, they are going to guide us as well. If we're working with the clients, we connect to our clients' energy, which will connect to their guides that are around them. And sometimes we're being guided by their guides. And so lots of different things can happen during a session. I've been practicing for over 10 years, and my sessions continue to evolve. I'm not always doing the standard hand positions or going through the bias and scan to check that way. Sometimes I'm just letting my intuition guide me, letting spirit guide me, or if my client is saying, hey, this is what I want to focus on today, then obviously I'm going to respect that as well. Even when it comes to doing Reiki on ourselves, I believe that as we get deeper and deeper into our journey, things are just going to begin to unfold, and we're going to begin going about our sessions in our own unique way. And sometimes this can happen right in the beginning of your journey. You know, I had mentioned a couple minutes ago that I do highly encourage to follow exactly what you were taught in class just to start off. But people some people have very strong intuitions, and I definitely want people to honor what they are feeling. If you are feeling that, no, I need to do this or do this move or do this thing that maybe doesn't seem like it makes any sense, then just do it. I don't believe that there's really any wrong way to do this. I don't believe that if we wander off from the biosense scan or the traditional hand positions or whatever else that it is that you were taught in your lineage, I don't believe that if we gear off from that, then suddenly we're doing Reiki wrong. It's not like that. You know, I've talked to some people that maybe they were taught a little bit differently than how I was taught, even though we are a part of the same lineage. So your teacher is going to sometimes wander off from what is being shown in the books. Like, for example, I was taught to start at the head, and that is how it is in our books. You start at the head and then you work your way down. But I have talked to other people who are in the same lineage as me, and they were taught to start at the feet. And everything is working just great for them, right? They love their Reiki practice and they're getting a lot of amazing feedback from clients. So even reversing that order isn't changing anything, because really this is all about your intention. What are you intending to do while you're doing Reiki? Are you trying to relax? Are you trying to work through physical pain? Are you trying to work through a blockage in a chakra? Whatever the case may be, I believe that it's always going to work out for you in your sessions. Just think of the phrase, energy goes where attention flows. This can apply to your Reiki practice. If you are intending to send Reiki into a certain area or for a certain thing, then since that's where you're focusing your intention, that is where the energy is going to flow to. I will say though, just one discrepancy with that, if you're like, I've been doing that and it's not working. Well, sometimes we are not really actually ready for something, even if we think that we are, or we may be saying that we're ready for something, but subconsciously we're really not. Or it may even be consciously, like you may actually feel it in your body when you think about working through that specific area. You can feel your body kind of tense up, or your breathing kind of shift and it feel a little bit more tense, or you might even just feel a little bit of anxiety, like that fight or flight kicking in. So if that's the case, it doesn't mean that it will always be like this and this won't be everyone's story. But sometimes that does mean that in that moment, the Reiki energy is not really going to work on that area. But the good news is that it will still go somewhere that is in your highest interest in the moment and something that you're actually open to. So I know that that might sound a little inconvenient, but this energy really knows what is in your highest good in the moment, and also Reiki does not go against free will. If you truly, even though you're saying you want to work through something, but if truly, like, if you get really honest with yourself and you're like, I'm not ready, then the Reiki is not going to fight you on that. It does not go against free will. And back on the topic with the ways that we are taught to go about a Reiki session when we're in class, just think of it this way. If you know, like, let's say that you're in pain somewhere, like, you can feel the pain, it's in your physical body, you know where it's at, right? You don't necessarily need to go through the biosen scan because you know that you just want to focus on that pain and you know exactly where it is at. So you can just go right to that area and you can do Reiki on that area. Especially if you have only a handful of minutes to spare and you're like, I really want to do some Reiki on myself right now, then you already know where to go. So you don't have to go through all of the motions of trying to figure it out when you already know. Another thing is sometimes, like, we just intuitively know. We know, I think that I need to do Reiki on my heart chakra today or my solar plexus today. If you just know that intuitively, then that's the spot that you can go to. And once again, you don't have to go through all of the motions of trying to see exactly where you're out of balance in your energy body. Now, if you're thinking that you do want to work on multiple places, but you don't want to go through all the hand positions, and maybe you only know of one area that you need to work on, and you're feeling like maybe there's something else, but you don't quite know what that is, then you can do your biosen scan or whatever it is that it's called in your lineage to figure out exactly where is the appropriate place to send Reiki. But don't worry if you're like, my intuition isn't strong and I'm not good at this. And when I do the biosen scan, I don't feel like what the teacher is saying that I should feel, the heat, the cold, the tingling, whatever it was that you were told that you may feel. It's okay. I like I had mentioned with the, like, if you had an intention but you actually weren't ready and then the Reiki energy went somewhere that was in your highest purpose, that is something that will happen too. So if you're thinking, yeah, I don't really know what I need to work on, I guess I will work on my heart chakra. But that there's not really an issue there, which maybe there is because I feel like a lot of people do struggle with that. But I'm just giving an example. Like, maybe that's not where you're actually supposed to go. It's okay. The Reiki energy is just kind of gonna like bypass that and then just go wherever it is that it needs to go. And you don't necessarily need to know where that is. And I know you're maybe you're thinking, well, I want to know where it is. You might just feel it. You might actually feel it wherever it goes. In some way, you might feel it. You could feel those traditional feelings that teachers talk about, like feeling the heat in your body, feeling tingling, feeling pressure. You might start to feel some heaviness or some prickling, or like something is moving around, something is happening in there, or you just feel some sort of shift. This would require you to pay extra attention to your body. I talk about this a little bit in my first video that I made, called I Took Reiki Level 1, so why do I feel like I'm doing it wrong? This talks a little bit, gives you a little practice on how you can start to notice the shifts that are happening in your body. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely go back and watch that. So yes, paying extra attention to your body. And then this does take practice though, but the more that you do this, the more you'll be able to feel those different shifts that are happening. If Reiki is going into areas that you weren't expecting. So yeah, I think that we could end this video with a little practice to kind of tune in intuitively and pick a spot to do Reiki. So you can just get comfy, either sitting or lying down, and just taking a deep breath. And just intending for your Reiki energy to flow. In my lineage, in the beginning of practice, we get into something called Gasho position. So however you normally start your practice, you can kind of get into this position to get the energy flowing. Continuing to take some breaths. Just really settling into your body. And let's just do a little scan. We can do a scan with our hands. So we'll just start, can't really see, but like at the top of your head. And you're gonna just slowly move down the body. And there could be some different things that indicate that you might need to do Reiki in that spot. It can be those traditional feelings of feeling a lot of heat in an area, feeling a lot of cold in an area, or a lot of tingling. But it doesn't have to be this way. Maybe as you're doing this, you just know. You just know exactly where you need to go. So I encourage you to go to that spot. Or maybe you heard it. You heard a voice. Or maybe you, instead of feeling it in your hand, you actually felt it in your body. That was where you needed to go. Maybe you felt an area of your body kind of tense. That would be a good indication of an area you need to go. Maybe you felt an area of your body like get a little uncomfortable or get in some pain all of a sudden. That could be an indication of an area. Maybe you saw some imagery in your mind and it let you know exactly where you needed to go. So just stay open to how this will come to you. I'll give you a moment to feel around until you find your spot. And as soon as you get it, just send some Reiki there for a minute or two. If you are already up in levels to where you have symbols at your disposal, you can invite in a symbol. If you aren't sure which one to use, just choose one because they're all great. Just taking one more moment. And just, I like to do a little brush to kind of brush away like any extra energy. You can ask the Reiki energy to dispose of this energy or transmute it so it's not just like chilling in your home or in your space. So, yes, asking it to remove it from your home, transmute it into a higher vibrational energy, whatever feels good to you. And earlier I had mentioned that I feel that there is appropriate steps to take to ensure like the integrity, protection and clearing your energy. Everybody's lineage is going to potentially have something different. So just making sure that you close up properly. In my lineage, we were taught to like kind of brush down the energy, shake it out. You could do this, starting from the left shoulder, going to the right hip, and then going from the right shoulder to the left hip, and just disconnecting the energy. Some people might stomp their feet on the ground, or maybe imagining that they're kind of like cutting a cord, or maybe you like smudging and so you bring smudge into the mix just to clear that energy, detach. You can stop your Reiki flow of energy. And then however it is that you end, in my lineage, once again, we do the gasho and just thanking the Reiki and asking it to continue working with us for as long as it's in our highest good. Noticing any shifts, if there were any. Maybe after this you might take a moment to journal or to sit in silence for another moment, and just be sure that you drink lots of water. And that would be the end of our practice and the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, if you found it helpful, please like this video, leave a comment, follow me, ask me all the things. Um, I would love to hear from you. I would love to talk to you. And if you have any other questions for future videos, I would love to see those as well. So, once again, thank you, and I will see you in the next video.